This is episode 3 with Curtis Anderson.
Thank you for coming out, Curtis.
Thanks for having me, sir.
You.
Thanks for the invite.
Coming. Yeah. No, the reason I thought of you is, well, we did a lot of work together before.
Back in the Shaw TV days.
Yeah. Yeah, we did a Halloween special, and I came in and did some magic. I think it was just a one-off sort of thing.
Yep. And Perry was your personal assistant.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And I remember that episode of Strip Down. Well, that was your introduction, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To Shaw TV.
It was, yeah.
You're part of Strip Down lore. The Halloween episodes were like the most talked about episodes we ever did. We really pushed the boundaries of cable television and tasteful cable television. I remember you sawed like dental floss through your neck. It was so gross, but awesome.
Yeah, that's fun. I don't really do that anymore in a live show. Yeah,
okay.
I've kind of separated myself from the geek magic, as they say.
Really?
That's the genre of magic that is. But
biting the chicken off, heads off chickens, wasn't that like a geek thing back in like old Carney?
Oh yeah,
Carney legend.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, probably good for you. Probably a good business decision going forward.
I think so.
All
yeah,
right.
More about the mind, and actually, that's exactly why I have you here, because you're someone who you're a TV, radio personality, right, in the media. And not only that, but somehow you were able to write a book out of all the chaos.
Lots of chaos.
So how are you
also
able to
a father?
Do that? Yeah, and a father. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how did you do that?
Focus. Being too stupid to know when to quit, or not What's the saying? Too stupid to not know when to quit. There, I got it the second time around. And just pushing myself. I don't know why I've always had this sense of like mortality, right? Like we only have a very limited time here.
Right.
And it's scary when you think about it. Scary how little time we have. And at a very young age, I just got that in my mind that I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste a day. I would rather try everything once and fail horribly than sit there when I'm 80 and go, what was I doing? Like, where did those 30 years, 40 years go?
Right.
So that's kind of, I don't know how I approach each day. Sounds a little cheesy, but that's really been the mindset that's just been ingrained in me since I was 18, 19, 20. Because I feel like I lived those first 2 decades of my life just absolutely not caring, not being involved, just coasting, and wasn't happy with myself, or, you know, and when you're young, I'm going to do this later. One day I'll do this. One day I'll be successful.
Right.
And something about all of a sudden not being a teenager anymore was kind of flicked the switch. It's like, let's do this. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty much got me to today.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So how did you make that mentality switch? Like,
well, when I was 19, I was like 70 pounds overweight. I was 5'8" and 225, and just, you know, really wasn't happy with who I was and didn't have a lot going for me, and just decided to start changing stuff up, and just change itself became addicting. I was like, wow, I got to this level. I should do this, try this. And, you know, with losing 75 pounds comes
a lot of confidence.
Sharp, influx in confidence. And that just kind of got the ball rolling, and went out to Manitoba to go to media school, and came back, worked at Global TV, Shaw TV, and working behind the scenes now at 96.3 Cruz FM, and freelancing for SaskTel Max TV, local on demand. And doing some freelance work here and there, and
very good.
Got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, came a dad. I got a 9-year-old. Got another one on the way.
Holy crap!
So it's busy, but I'd rather be busy and tired than bored.
So how do you manage your time to be able to accomplish everything?
Honestly, and nobody likes this answer, but I sacrifice sleep.
Yeah.
I sacrifice the relaxation periods that most people take advantage of in the day. And I don't mean to sound condescending, but honestly, like, I don't watch television. The television I watch is when I'm falling asleep in bed and I'm watching Netflix on my phone.
Right.
That's honestly, other than that, if I watch something, I'm on the exercise bike.
Okay. That's
the only time I really watch TV. And I try to get 6 hours of sleep a night. Try not to really get more than that. Just, you know, there's work to be done. Exactly. After everyone goes to sleep, there's that prime hour and a half of night where, you know, just I can focus on my own stuff.
Right.
So I don't I don't lose sight of that, and that's how I've been living for quite a while.
So then, how do you prioritize what you're going to do next? Do you do something until it's completely done, or do you do each project in blocks?
Yeah, you have to pretty much do it until it's completely done, which was another flaw I had in my teens. I had so many projects that were, a third of the way. Man, I wanted to be a comic book artist, right? That was my big thing growing up. And from grade 9 to grade 12, I illustrated from front to back, like, I think it was a 114-page graphic novel. I look back now, and I mean, it's not very good. But at the time, it was my life, like 24/7. Like, I sacrificed so much in high school, but I didn't sacrifice enough, Yeah. Like, I took it seriously enough that, one day I'm going to be a comic book artist. But I didn't actually take art classes. I didn't actually talk to people in the industry. I didn't do that research. What does it take to actually be a comic book artist? Can you live off of that? How much does one make? Can you do it in Saskatoon? We have Tom Grummett, who's kind of the exception to the rule.
Okay.
But outside of that, I was just kind of, I'll figure that out later. Right now, I'm just going to draw my own comic book and, snub my nose at everyone who says I should start taking lessons and taking that aspect of it, learning and networking a little more serious. I'm just, nah. And so, every once in a while, I still pull that thing. I was like, man, 4 years of my life into this and nothing happened with it,
4
right?
years, eh?
Yeah, well, it was my high school. I was drawing that thing.
Very adamant about it.
Yeah.
Interesting, okay.
And then it's crushing how bad it is. But,
I'd like to see it.
When you're 16,
actually. 17,
it's, it was a trip. I really thought that was going to be my ticket to stardom. And I look back now, and it's just so cliched and hackneyed.
I have a feeling that, you might re-release it.
Maybe. If there's a demand for it out there.
Work through it, make it better.
Yeah, I don't know. I have friends who actually followed that dream and became comic book artists, like Scott Kowalchuk from here, who's working for Image and working for, DC, and he's living the dream. And I know, just looking at his schedule, that I would not have had the determination early on to do what I should have done, because he was the guy in high school taking art classes and pushing forward and making a career out of it. So
when you wrote your book, did you do any sort of research into that area? I'm assuming you probably did.
Yeah. I wrote kind of the skeleton of it over 2 days back in 2002 when I was working for Global Television.
Okay.
And I don't know where it came from. I just had this idea. At the time, I had like really weird days off. It was like Wednesday, Thursday, I think were my days off.
Okay.
So a lot of downtime, right? Not a lot going on with your friends on Wednesdays, Thursdays. So during the day, I'd walk the dog, and this just really dark storyline came to me, and I was really excited about it. And I wrote down the skeleton on like napkins. It's just, again, so cliche over my 2 days off, and put it away. Never really thought about it again for a while, but it was from the perspective of a single parent, and I wasn't thinking about kids back then. It was just like, oh yeah, that's the hook, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone will identify with that. And then in 2006, when I became a father, I stumbled across it again, and I was really drawn to it. I was more laughing at myself about how wrong I got all the paranoia you would feel as a parent that was driving this character. But at the same time, I really liked it. I really kind of dug the storyline arc. So I made the commitment. I was like, okay, this is it. Funny story, actually. Local psychic, Paulina. Okay. I was with Shaw TV covering The Man Show. I've never told anyone this story, ever. This is an exclusive for you, okay? So that morning was the morning I stumbled across the napkins, laughing at myself. That's not how parents think. This is bad writing, but I like the story arc. It's dark and good. And then that afternoon, we went to the Man Show for Shaw TV. So, we're doing interviews, and there's one booth that sticks out, and it's Paulina the psychic, the local psychic, Paulina. And kind of an odd fit for the Man Show, right? There's a bunch of, jacked bros walking around, chugging their protein shakes, and no one was at her booth, and she just looked bored. And so we did a quick interview with her, and she asked, "Do you want me to read your cards or whatever?" she did. I said, okay. And, again, totally skeptical, like a jerk. Okay, let's do this, Paulina. And the first thing she said was super vague, and like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, let's do this. And the second thing she said was, in 1 year, you'll take a very important plane ride, And I almost laughed aloud because I have been terrified to fly. I had not flown at that time. I had no desire to ever get on a plane.
Really?
And she told me this, and I almost laughed in her face because, at the time, never going to get on a plane. And 11 months, almost to the day, I took my first flight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then the third thing she said was, that project you're thinking about, that's the one. And again, super vague, but it just happened to be that day. And I don't want to say she inspired me, but kind of inspired me. It was kind of like that extra. I had already decided I was going to do it, but that was the, like, I have to do this now.
Extra push.
Paulina says this is the one. So I started fleshing it out, and it just kind of took a life of its own. And yeah, a little bit of research, but it all just kind of...
That's really cool.
And again, brand new father, wasn't sleeping much, so put the kid to bed at 8, and then hit the gym till 9. Went to the Broadway Roastery and had my post-workout coffee, which is really bad for you. But did that and wrote till like midnight. Got home, got ready for the next day. Went to bed at 1:30, got up at 7, kind of thing.
Holy,
did that for quite a long
that's
time.
Hard work,
but what you got to do, right?
Yeah, I suppose. I like to get more sleep, but maybe it's because I'm younger.
Fair enough. Ouch.
But no, I'd like to know, whenever you come into maybe a roadblock,
okay,
where you can't think of, maybe you're not as creative as you want it to be, how do you do a reset?
Take a break. There's nothing I've learned through the process of writing that book for a year and editing, that when you hit the wall, just, even if it's 10 minutes, just go do something else. Just walk around. Don't stop thinking about it, but don't sit there and dwell on it.
Okay.
Ever since I lost all that weight, working out, doing cardio is just my absolute release. That's my daily reset button. No matter how much stress or how frustrated I am, if I just go, I've still got the glands of an overweight person, so I sweat a ton. So I just go sweat everything out, and then I feel so much better after, and that's usually my daily reset button.
Okay.
And,
so that's part of your daily routine then?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I probably work out 6 times a week, I bet. Yeah.
Excellent, yeah.
Lots of cardio. I was blessed with many genetic traits, but metabolism was not one of them. So
you got to force it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I would put on weight if I stopped working out. I know that. So
I'd like to know as well, because you have so much knowledge in this area, that I'd like to know, how do you figure out what motivates you to get you to, push the boundaries and keep going forward?
And I hate throwing cliches at you.
It's okay.
I feel like I'm just a walking cliche, but again, the limited time of your life is the motivating factor.
That's motivating.
Absolutely. Okay. I don't know if I wired differently than most people, but I don't want to waste a day, right?
Right.
Like those days where I'm actually really exhausted and like I know enough about my body that's like I need to go to bed at 8 o'clock and get caught up on some sleep, and I hate those days. It's that's 4 hours of waste, four wasted hours of me getting caught up on sleep, and it kind of drives me nuts. But at the same time, if I don't, that's when I get sick or run down.
Right.
I'm completely unproductive because I'm so bagged. But yeah, I mean.
So you don't have any more negative thoughts? Do you think positively on everything?
I wouldn't say that. I get frustrated easily, but that's part of the challenge, right?
Right. So how do you deal with the stress?
Time management. Prioritize, like you said.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be stress. One of the most polarizing things someone ever told me was actually my friend Jay Neufeld, who I used to work with at Shaw and still keep in touch with all the time. We're working on projects together as we speak. But his wife beat cancer, and I remember him saying that what they learned through the whole experience was that, like, your misery doesn't trump other people's misery. Like, that was the worst thing that ever happened to them. So, that's their worst level is up to here. If the worst thing that ever happened to me was, I walk out of this room and stub my toe, that's still the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Like, when you look at it like that way, it's actually comparable.
Right.
Because if that's the worst thing that's happened to me, and getting cancer is the worst thing that happened to them, you can't hold that against other people, right?
Right.
You can't take it personally if people, project their setbacks at the same level as yours and treat it like a contest. You can't take that personally and that really kind of made me open my eyes, because I took a lot of things, it's hard not to take things personally.
Right.
So that I kind of think about that daily, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's very good. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I know.
Since you released your book, how has the reception of it been for you?
There's been a slight negative push, which I anticipated and craved to a little bit.
Okay.
to a degree. Part of the marketing was slapping. When you first look at it, the title's offensive, and that didn't happen by accident. I, wanted to challenge people. Some of the most influential things I've ever read were things that really challenged me, was really, dark. I really gravitated to that, where it made you almost uncomfortable, be it just fiction or biographies. And I wouldn't say I liked the way that made me feel, where you're really uncomfortable.
Okay.
But at the same time, I always felt like I changed a little after reading something like that. Like, my world expanded a little bit. It's a little less safe.
Right.
So, I mean, I've been pretty lucky in life. I don't have a lot of hardships that the world throws at a lot of people. So that was kind of, each time I read something really dark or tragic, it just kind of pushed my mind a little bit.
Right.
And
for growth.
Yeah, absolutely. So on a local level, there's some great local authors here. Absolutely fantastic local authors, but a lot of the same kind of prairie-based writing. And so when I started taking this really seriously, I thought, let's do something so left field from a little Saskatoon author.
Right.
I mean, the book's not even set in Canada. I set it in the United States, and just gets pretty dark. And like I said, put a controversial title on it, and honestly, the reception's been pretty positive though across the board. The people who completely judge it are people that haven't read it, and they tell me straight up, they're like, that title just turned me off, and I never read the book. And I get to go, so what you're saying is you like books, but you're judging a book by its cover. Loophole. And they go, harumph, and then I pat myself on the back and go on. But no, it's been getting really good reviews from, there's some good feedback on Amazon. And
yeah, I saw that. There's like all 5-star ratings.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I'm pretty impressed. When I was writing it, there were times where, I made myself go to dark places. Again, cliche, but I was writing as a brand new father, terrified of being a brand new father, running on no sleep, just caffeine 24/7. So it wasn't hard to really slip into that paranoid, am I up for this? Am I up for this? Which is the angle the main character comes from. So there's a lot of my own paranoia and anger and frustration in there. And can't remember where I was going with that, but that really shines through in the book. And I think people can really relate to that. Because there's a lot of people that, feel held down. They should have more and they want more, but they're just not sure how to get there. And that's, again, kind of the arc of the story, is that she wants more, and she starts risking more than she should to get it. And there comes a line where you start wondering, is she doing this because she wants to make a better life for her and her daughter, or is she doing this just because she's obsessed with getting, a slight notoriety? Okay. Is she just selfish? Is that what this is about, or is she actually a good person?
Okay.
And I've had so many completely different views of the main character after people finish the book. Some people are like, what a great character, and other people are like, I hate her. Like, why would you write a book about the most unlikable person in the world? And that's my biggest accomplishment, because that was what I was looking for. I wanted to have one character that people had to use their own experiences to kind of fill the gaps and plug in, and use their personal experiences to understand her motivation. And some people hate her, and other people think she's a really cool character and did a good job. So
that's really cool. And
thanks.
I'll let you know my view on it once I'm finished the book.
Okay.
And I have the book, And I asked you to bring a copy because
Yes.
I wanted to try something with the book, but to also make sure that everyone knows that I didn't somehow modify the book.
Okay.
So you have a copy.
I do have a copy.
Okay.
This is fresh from my giant man purse.
Perfect.
This is the first time you are touching it.
Okay,
I promise.
I'm
Okay, you're not even
not going to
okay.
touch it. I want you to show the camera, and for everyone that's listening as well, just make sure that we can know that if you flip through the pages, 100%
That's a book.
real.
Yes.
Okay. Since I'm a magician, mentalist, hypnotist, I'm going to try something with your book.
Okay.
And this first time I'm touching it, yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
100%. I really got to drill that into everybody. 100% real book.
Absolutely. Man,
Okay.
how hard is it doing magic on like a podcast with no
Right.
if people aren't if people
You have
aren't
to
watching
translate it.
video?
Well, I have a deck of cards though.
Okay.
So you're going to take them.
Okay.
You're going to shuffle them completely.
Okay.
As much as you want. Look at
I'll
the
do it.
faces too.
I'll do it right by my microphone so people can
Awesome.
really hear the shuffling.
Look at the faces. Make sure they're all different too.
If I make a everyday I'm shuffling joke, are you going to kick me off your podcast? Because you probably should. Okay, here we go.
Nice. Not bad.
My son's 9 and he can do that better than me. He does that, and then the other way, we're like,
The
bending
bridge.
the,
Yep.
yeah. No, I'm just making machine
Is he
gun
getting into
noises.
magic?
A little bit. He was when he was little. Man, I found these like, make the ball appear.
Yeah.
99-cent Dollarama magic tricks, and he ate that up for 6 months. He was all into that. I should get him back into it.
Well, I'm putting together a beginner magic DVD. When
There
it's
it
done,
is.
I'll send you one.
Okay. All right. Those
So you've
cards.
shuffled it.
Those cards ain't getting any more shuffled.
Good.
Okay.
All different?
All different.
Excellent. So, we'll just reiterate. You shuffled the cards. This book, you brought it.
Yep.
It's not one that I modified in any way. Not that that would really matter.
Yep.
I'm going to give you both of them now.
Okay.
So hold on to that. Take the cards.
Okay.
I'm going to turn my back. I would
Okay.
like you to take now the top 3 cards.
Okay.
And in any order, so if you have like an ace 2 3, you can choose any 2 of the cards, and that'll be a page number. And in any order too. So if you had ace 2 3, you could choose page 12, or you could choose page 32 or 23, anything you'd like.
Okay. So take 2 cards and create a page number.
Yeah. Any 2 of them, create a page number.
Okay.
Flip to that page, and using the remaining card, I would like you to count along the top line of that page that many words and think of that word.
Holy cow. Okay.
Got it? I just want to make sure it's like extremely random.
Okay. So use 2 cards to make a page.
Yep.
And then take the 1 card I didn't use.
Yep. And then count along the top of that page.
Okay.
Okay.
So count that number of words in.
Exactly.
Not counting my name at the top.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Starting with the content of the
Okay.
book. So you have a word now.
Yes.
Close everything up.
Okay.
Lock that word into your mind.
Okay.
Put the cards into the deck and put everything aside.
Okay. Don't have to shuffle them or anything.
You can if you want.
Okay.
I'm
I
not
guess it
going to
doesn't
touch
matter.
them.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Can I turn around?
Yep.
Okay. I want you to just verify. Are there any mirrors over here?
No.
Any way that I could see behind me?
No.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to try this. You have a
Okay.
word in your mind. Do you know how many words are in your book?
83,000.
83,000 words. Okay.
Mhm.
You shuffled the deck before.
Mm-hmm.
You shuffled it quite a bit, actually.
Yep.
A lot of people who I do tricks with, they will shuffle it a couple times. But you've seen me do things before, so I think you were trying to be as thorough as possible.
I just
Okay.
enjoy shuffling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. Okay. You have the word?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like you just to imagine that the word was in front of me. Imagine the length of the word. Don't say anything out loud. It's kind of a medium-sized word, right? Right? Yes? Okay. Does it start with a B?
No.
No. Okay. Ends with R.
No.
No. Okay.
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay. Just take a nice deep breath. Good. Actually, I think I would consider it a little bit of a longer word, maybe. But you have a plethora of words in your book, so maybe you know that there's really long words or something. But does it start with an F?
Yep.
F, L.
Yep.
You said it kind of ends in an R, but it's R-E-D, right?
Yep.
Is it flustered? Is it flustered?
Yes, it's flustered.
Nice.
What? All right.
Awesome. Well,
Oh, I'm sweating now. That's wow. That's yep. Well, do you wanna?
yeah. What page was this? So anyone who has the book, they can, you can double check and make sure this is
Okay.
actually there.
So my 3 cards were 274. I thought there's something sexy about the number 74. So went to page 74. Second word in, flustered.
Very cool.
Everything I want to say right now, you'd have to beep out. So I'm just gonna not say anything. That's incredible, man. I'm sweating into my eyes. That's
very cool.
what?
Now, yeah, you guys can make out what you think of that. You can try and create your own explanations, but it's better just to be amazed.
Damn. Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I thought of that. It would be perfect to do something with your book, and since I'm a magician, the cards, I don't know, just fits.
Mm.
And you said there's how many thousand words?
There's 83,000.
83,000
And
words.
I can guarantee you flustered was only used once in here.
Only used once.
Yeah.
And you remember the exact moment in the book. You can almost picture that moment in the book, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Very cool.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
So, going from there, now that your mind is all blown, and maybe your mind is a little flustered now.
Yes. It's fair assessment. I'm going to have to get back on track here. Jeez.
Yeah. I'd like to ask you a few more questions, but first, I'm just going to acknowledge you, because you're a hardworking guy. You've been doing it, how old are you now?
I'm 36.
36.
Yep.
So, for the last 17 years,
Yep.
you've been working as hard as you possibly could, because you know that there's limited time.
Yes.
And that mindset, even if half the people in the world had that mindset, this world would be a whole different place.
I'd hope so. I like to think so.
Just the amount of work you put in, it's amazing. How you're able to be a father with another child on the way.
Yep.
Some people who have children, and I don't have children, but I'm kind of scared that if I had a kid, that I wouldn't be able to do what I do.
And that's it. And that's because you see it everywhere, right?
Right.
You see all these people who, as soon as they settle down, their dreams die. They take their dreams out back and put a bullet in their head, and they use that as a crutch.
Exactly.
And I didn't want to be that guy. It went the exact opposite way. I'm really fired up about that, because that was part of the thought process too. It was like, now I've got a kid, Right. This is, I always say, this is a love letter to my son. This is me sticking with something and, beating the odds. This isn't self-published. I got a legitimate publisher to pay me for this book. It's published in Gothenburg, Sweden by Kraken Press.
Impressive.
I want him to grow up and be like, damn, my dad did that. My dad sacrificed all this free time and everything just to do something. I hope he finds inspiration from that.
And I'm sure many people that listen to this and meet you just face to face, I'm inspired. They're going to be inspired for sure.
I hope so. And then, like you said, if more people just took that run at life, it'd be so much better, even just for themselves.
Yeah. Whenever someone says that you don't have enough time, it's just because they don't want to make the time.
No.
And you're living proof of that. You're making the time for anything that you want. And that is awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I've learned a lot today just by talking with you. And before, when we spoke, I didn't really have the learning mindset to learn from people. I kind of, just was trying to do my own thing. But now I think I'm able to learn a lot deeper with people that I look up to. So, yeah, thank you again very much, man.
Thank you so much, too. You inspire me, too. This room itself is nuts. That was nuts. That's, I'm not going to sleep for a week trying to figure that out. And, just to put a cap on that, another thing you do, just surround yourself with good, positive people.
Have you had to eliminate? I guess that might be
eliminate's kind of a harsh word, but I definitely stay away,
Distance.
which was another thing, in my teens. Get together, drink some beer, drink some coffee, complain, right?
Yeah. And
if you really try to get out of that pattern, you can do so much more. And that's the first step. Just surround yourself with positive people, Like I've got a buzz from this room, man. You're doing crazy stuff here.
Well, thank you.
Like that's inspiring to me.
Great. Okay, and if you now could leave behind one book that's not yours.
Okay.
Like if you had to choose, and your book is not one of the options.
Okay.
But if you had to leave behind one book that describes your life.
Oh, geez.
What would it be?
One book that describes my life. I don't know.
But let's expand it to, I know you don't watch TV, but maybe a movie or a song even.
6 Feet Under from HBO.
6 Feet Under.
Was the greatest show I've ever seen on television. Breaking Bad was a close second.
Okay.
But 6 Feet Under.
And why?
It's a show about, mortality. It's a family of morticians that run a funeral parlor out of their home. And it ended back in 2006, right before I became a father.
Okay.
And yeah, if you can get your hands on those DVDs, they're pretty darn good. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I watched all of Breaking Bad on my iPhone. That's
on a tiny screen.
On a tiny screen, but it was still great.
Well, I'm gonna add that to my list. I'm actually looking for a new show to watch. So
6 Feet Under. It's not on Netflix, unfortunately. HBO doesn't like Netflix, but that's, man, you want an inspiring show. You want a show that makes you run out the front door and do stuff with your life. That's the one.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you again for that. Mm. Lastly, before we go anywhere else,
okay,
I'd like to just find out from you what your next level idea or project is.
I've got, I wrote a short that's going to be part of a movie coming out late this year or early next year, local production house called Eye Catcher Film. They wanted to do a horror movie in the old Tales from the Crypt kind of, 3 short 20-minute films with a wraparound to make a 90-minute movie.
Right.
So I wrote a 20-minute short and they liked it. So I actually got to, they let me direct it.
Wow.
So yeah, we got a bunch of actors together, and so they're just editing that up now.
Very cool.
Putting some color correction on it and stuff, and some audio editing. So I'm really excited to have that to show people.
Right.
And I'm thinking about a fringe play. That'll just be my, my third, trilogy. I'll have a book, part of a movie. I'm thinking about doing a fringe play somewhere down the and again, just something of everything. Everybody's like, "Oh, now you're an author. Oh, when's that second book coming?" I don't know. I don't think I'm going to write a second book. I don't know. I've done that now. Like that's that's off the list.
Check.
Let's do some live theater now. See how that goes.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, Curtis.
You're doing a great thing, man. This was fun. You got a sweet setup in here.
Yeah, but I'm glad you like it because I know you're used to big expensive budgets and whatnot.
I was gonna make a Shaw TV joke, but I won't. That's okay.
And just before we go, how can people find you?
Facebook, Curtis Anderson. That's really the best.
Okay.
I'm not hard to find. I'm not on Twitter a whole lot. I should be on Twitter more, but I'm not. That's one of my flaws. I don't have a very big Twitter preference. But yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Curtis Anderson, CJA@gmail.com.
All right. I'll put all those in the show notes too.
Yeah, you can look up Gina French is Not a Waste of Roofies on Amazon. I've got all sorts of links in there and bios and feedback. So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm not hard to find. And I'm Saskatoon for life, so I'll be here.
Right on.
Yep.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Cheers.
That was so much fun. Thank you, sir.